story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there, so good to have you join us on CoreTV Prime Time News Weekend Edition. I am Gete. In our major story, security forces detain an aircraft suspected to be carrying weapons at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport in Kano. Also in this program, voting is ongoing as materials arrive late for Ekiti PDP reps primaries. Lagos State Governor Batsandi Fashion re-registers for voter registration card. And outside Nigeria, Al-Qaeda militants kill United States journalist and South African teacher in field rescue mission in Yemen. Thanks for staying tuned with us. Now, details of the headlines and other stories. We begin with Kano. Security forces have detained an aircraft suspected to be carrying weapons at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano. The plane, which landed in Kano in the early hours of Saturday, was said to be heading for Chad. Although details are still sketchy, there are indications that the aircraft was detained because the crew did not disclose the contents of its cargo until the discovery was made. Nigeria's military has confirmed that Boko Haram insurgents invaded Ashaka in Gombe State, but insisted that they were repelled. Ashaka is home of the largest cement factory in northern Nigeria and has been attacked twice within a month by the insurgents. Defense headquarters said in a statement on its website that the insurgents came in a convoy of over 30 vehicles and a number of motorcycles, but were ambushed by soldiers based on intelligence report. It ordered that the insurgents managed to retrieve 3 truckloads of their dead colleagues before fleeing after suffering heavy casualty. The military also noted that 10 soldiers died while defending Ashaka from Boko Haram. 2 serving members in the House of Representatives on Saturday failed to clinch the ticket to contest the 2015 election into the lower chamber during the People's Democratic Party primary held across the 9 federal constituencies in Edo State. Although the scene of the primary and some of the venue was peaceful with the presence of security operatives, the exercise, however, did not begin until about 11:30 a.m. in most of the constituencies. The member representing Eson West, Eson Central and Igbeben Federal Constituency and Chairman House Committee on Power Patrick E. Kadiere and Friday Utula representing Eson South East and Eson North East failed in their re-election bids. 2-time lawmaker and member House Committee on Federal Capital Territory and the Millennium Development Goals Itula lost to Segios Ogun's 55 votes, having scored 31 votes. Voting materials arrived late in Ekiti State on Saturday for the People's Democratic Party House of Representatives primaries. A 5-member electoral committee from the PDP National Secretariat, led by Bala Sulaiman, arrived at the State Secretariat of the party in Ado-Ekiti around 4:30 p.m. Sulaiman said the committee received materials on Saturday morning in Abuja and had to travel by road to Ado-Ekiti. There was heavy presence of policemen when journalists visited the headquarters of the federal constituency located in Ido, Ikole, Aramoko, Ado, Amor, and Ikere-Ekiti. The police commissioner Taiwo Lakano also deployed a large number of route policemen in the party secretariat to forestall.
We have deployed men everywhere. All the flash points are manned by our men, and we also have the cooperation of other agencies. We are on ground, and I assure that there will not be any problem.
Expressed dissatisfaction at the late arrival of the materials and described the development as sinister.
There is some attempts by some set of people to doctor the list of the delegates, which, if they did, can cause serious damage to the image of the party. So I want to seriously appeal to those people that have such a plan not to do it.
It is very, very dangerous for the PDP. The people should not be taken for granted. Because delegates are there, we all know who they are. And for anybody to try to change the list of delegates 2 days, a day or 2 days to the primaries, it's unacceptable.
It's a blatant lie. Nobody can change a list that is already in Abuja and is coming down here. Nobody can do that. It only shows you the kind of people we have.
Lagos State chapter of the People's Democratic Party held its primaries for the House of Representatives seat on Saturday across the state. Oluwaseyi Adegoke monitored activities in some of the constituency and filed in this report.
The party secretariat was filled with delegates and party members waiting anxiously outside the gate, either to cast their vote or hear the result of their constituencies. For the Apapa Federal Constituency, Wole Adewumi emerged winner with 24 votes against Popo, who got 13 votes. In what was obviously a slim victory, Femi Akinbade emerged the winner for Mushin Federal Constituency 1 with 15 votes against 14 for Akim Fagbemi.
I'm very delighted, and I can say this is a win for PDP, and I hope this political tsunami continues in Lagos State for PDP. I'm very delighted, I'm very excited.
The Ikeja Federal Constituency primary was characterized by confusion and misunderstanding among the delegates and other party members. Following the restoration of order, it finally produced Kunle Okunla as the winner with 28 votes against Larry Oshundairo, who scored 8 votes.
So it's like a halfway victory, and I hope that everybody that involved did not vote to create problem, but they just want to put the best in front so that we can win the general election.
Leadership of the People's Democratic Party in the state described the success recorded at the House of Reps primaries as a good sign of better things to come ahead the 2015 general elections. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
It was another success story for the PDP in neighboring Ogun as the party held its House of Representatives primaries across the state. Olajumoke Latunji was in Abeokuta where she monitored the voting process. She brought back this report.
In Abeokuta North, Obafemi Owode and Odeda Federal Constituency, Samuel Oni, Zacchaeus Oyekunle, Abiola Adeworin, and Deji Olaleye are the 4 contenders battling for the party's ticket. After the exercise, Olaleye was declared the winner. He expressed satisfaction at the outcome of the election.
I should say congratulations to myself and to other aspirants as well. It has been a very peaceful, fair competition, and we're all friends. And it has been a victory for our federal constituency and also for the party, our PDP. So I think it's a victory for all. So I thank God.
However, one of the contenders appears not pleased with the results of the primaries.
I told you that it's not election, it's a covenant blood election, which they did at Ijebubu, that's from Buruji Kashambas. It's an election that they are swearing in with the blood It's not election.
Meanwhile, PDP chieftains in the state say the stage is set for the governorship primary on Monday. Olajumoke Olatunji, CoreTV News, Abeokuta.
It's CoreTV Primetime News Weekend edition. More trouble in the PDP family as governors spoil for war with Jonathan, Mark and Mwazu over deal with senators. Find out more when we return. Stay with us.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Professor.
My former students.
Happy birthday.
Every day, life is made better by the moments of surprise we create for others and for ourselves. Be better. Surprise someone this season and make sure to text 11 to 400 to get a surprise from MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, it's CoreTV Primetime News Weekend edition. And now a reminder of some of our top stories. Security forces detain an aircraft suspected to be carrying weapons at the Malamamini Kano International Airport in Kano. Voting is ongoing as materials arrive late for Ekiti PDP reps primaries. Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola registers for voter registration card. Don't forget that you can also catch us on our social media platforms on Facebook. It's facebook.com/CoreTV News. On Twitter at CoreTV News NG. And on YouTube, it's youtube.com/CoreTV with the space news. More trouble appears ahead for the troubled People's Democratic Party ahead the 2015 general elections. Some of its governors are angry with the national chairman of the party, Adamu Mwazu, and Senate President David Mark over the collapse of the deal President Goodluck Jonathan had with them before he was adopted as a sole presidential candidate of the party. The governors are angry that the president fell to the blackmail of senators who threatened to impeach him and thereby agreed that some of them be given an automatic ticket. The angry governors will be meeting with Jonathan on Tuesday night to register their displeasure on the matter. CoreTV News guarded that the Tuesday meeting would be meant to extract some commitment from him before his ratification during the December 10 National Convention of the PDP. The commitment, it was learned, would mean that the president would support their governorship candidate. Besides, it was also meant to make sure that the president, if he wins in 2015, will not hunt them with anti-corruption agencies after leaving office in 2015. Following failed attempts to secure his permanent voter card Saturday, re-registered for another one. Fashola, whose polling unit as the Surulere area of the state, was one of those affected during the ill-fated exercise by INEC last month. He urged Lagosians who were yet to secure their cards to follow suit and allow the love of democracy rule their sense of decision-making as the 2015 elections draw close. Motayo Alo has the details.
The Lagos governor says the continuous voter registration exercise, which is expected to cater for those that have not secured their PVCs and those who had issues at their polling units is an opportunity to establish true democracy regardless of previous challenges. He made this known at a re-registration exercise in his polling unit with his wife, in company of the Lagos Resident Electoral Commissioner, Adekunle Ogunmola.
This is the one they have given me again, so I still don't see the difference. All I will say is that people, no matter how difficult they make this, your love for democracy must be bigger than your inconvenience.
These Lagos residents are excited to know that the exercise will afford them the opportunity to take part in the 2015 general elections, but stress that the electoral body has a lot of internal sorting to do.
Sometimes the system go up and come down. That is the only issue that we have. But at the end of the day, it's okay.
It's just the queue that's the main challenges of the whole exercise. So the process is simple. Within 2 to 3 minutes, you are done with the exercise.
Sometimes they will tell you that the system is malfunctioning. You just have to do it in any way to make sure that you have your right in your hand so that you can vote the right person in.
All the residents who appraised the exercise say they are now positive about the outcome of the 2015 general elections.
Irrespective of what the issues, the challenges, and what we've been hearing in the news and all that, I see a positive, end to this 2015, election.
Well, ahead of the general election, I still have my finger crossed and I know who I want to vote for, but we're still observing and see how things go. We still have 4 more weeks to the end of the month, the year, and something can pull up.
Fashola and most Lagos residents ideally adopt the exercise of failure and accused INEC of planning to rig the 2015 general elections. Omotayiwalo, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria says it will not relent in its strive to protect Nigerian consumers from unwholesome advertisement. Its leadership made this known at the 2014 lecture and dinner of the Abuja chapter of the Advertising Practitioners Association. Basia Ye has more.
Lecture and dinner of advertising practitioners in Abuja. It also provided an opportunity to formally welcome newly licensed practitioners into the fold, as well as an investiture ceremony for its patrons. Although it was a time to unwind, interact and network, the regulatory body for the practitioners, APCON, took time out to reinforce the need to abide by the standards of operation within the industry. Advertising practitioners frowned at the activities of quacks while decrying their inability to prosecute offenders.
The greatest challenge this year, in 2014, is the absence of a functional council that leaves the administration, myself and my staff, exposed to a number of issues. Because there are many things we couldn't do because we're limited legally by law, we can't do them. And as I'm not a sole administrator, so the only way is to run back to my minister and to the regular to develop some diplomatic ways of dealing with issues at the moment.
It's a fast-selling business, and so because of that, a lot of people come into the profession, and these people, to some extent, they are not certified members of Advertising Practitioner Council. And like I said, there are things that qualify you to practice. Like what the registrar has said, you must have a credential. Either you are academically qualified to be a practitioner or you are under a tutelage. But you see people just come in and they just jump into the profession, and what do you get is shock.
They also advised young advertisers especially to maintain honesty and legality in their practice.
The council must have a deliberate effort charted up to enable it begin to interest young ones to really read advertising and to enable it, develop successors that would effectively take over the practice of the profession in time.
There have been continuous efforts to ensure sanity in the advertising industry, especially in the last few months. And experts say no stone will be left unturned until this is achieved. Basi Aye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
It's CoreTV Prime Time News. We take another break and return with more stories. Stay with us.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Professor.
My former students.
Happy birthday.
Every day, life is made better by the moments of surprise we create for others and for ourselves. Be better. Surprise someone this season and make sure to text 11 to 400 to get a surprise from MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Welcome back now to business. It all began with the CBN devalued the Naira, citing present economic realities as a reason for their action. And now what followed could best be described as a non-partisan condemnation of the policies by economic experts. The CBN did not study the true picture of the economy before altering the value of the Naira. The view that the newly introduced policy will further affect the economy negatively.
In the past 20 years or thereabouts, have deliberately fought a war to devalue the Naira. They have persistently ensured that the Naira would remain under pressure by the type of policies that they enacted and they implemented. In reality, the Naira has no business trading for over 100 Naira to a dollar if it was allowed to determine its own exchange rate on the money market. But unfortunately, the CBN and the economic management team don't have such mercy for the Naira. They seem to have adopted the dollar as their own currency, while the Naira has been consigned to the role of an orphan child. Inflation at 8, 9, 10% and above is a dangerous, how would I say, a dangerous occurrence.
A sell-off of Nigerian bonds triggered by falling global oil prices is seen continuing next week, and the Naira is likely to weaken further. Yields on Nigerian bonds are expected to rise next week, with investors expected to cut back on their positions before the year end. Nigeria's local debt market has experienced a sell-off in recent weeks, which has lost about 11% against the dollar this year. Yields on the benchmark 10-year bond rose to 13.45% from 13.30% last week, while the 2016 bond was trading at 13.70%. The 2022 bond was trading at 13.72%. And outside Nigeria, Russia's ruble bounced almost 2% against the dollar on Friday. Russian central bank stepped up its defense of the currency, which dipped 5% this week. President Vladimir Putin, in his speech in the State of the Nation address, instructed the central bank and the finance ministry to act together in fighting off speculators. The currency is down almost 40% this year, hit by an oil price slump and Western sanctions. The central bank, which releases its intervention data with a 2-day lag, said it had conducted $1.9 billion worth of interventions on December 2nd. UK-born US journalist Luke Sambers and South African teacher Perry Koike has been killed by Al-Qaeda militants in Yemen during a failed rescue bid. Saturday's operation was carried out by joint US and Yemeni special forces in the southern Shabwa region. US President Barack Obama condemned the barbaric murder of both hostages. They were being held by militants from Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, regarded by the U.S. as one of the deadliest offshoots of Al-Qaeda. The group is based in eastern Yemen and has built up support amid the unrest which has beset the impoverished country since the overthrow of President Ali Abdullah Saleh in 2011. Luke Sambo is believed
Hearts
to have been
are full of
sold
sorrow,
by
as I
his
said,
abductors
that
to
Luke Summers was murdered.
described as the most
He was taken hostage. His life was clearly in danger.
It's CoreTV primetime news. Just before we go, a recap of our major headlines. Security forces detain an aircraft suspected to be carrying weapons at the Malamaminu Kanu International Airport in Kanu. We also told you that voting is ongoing as materials arrived late for the Ekiti PDP reps primaries. Well, we brought you a report that Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola re-registers for voter registration card. And that's our show for tonight. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us. On behalf of the entire production crew, I am Gift or Getter, wishing you a very good night rest. Good night.